Hey gang, I am Jay, welcome to Homemade Heroes. Today I am going to be showing you the minifigures that I have built for the Legend of Vox Machina animated show. And I'm really excited as the third season of the Legend of Vox Machina is just about to come out on Prime. Let's dive in and take a look at the minifigures now. And let me know if you have any thoughts or questions down in the comments below. I'm going to start off with my least favorite Legend of Vox Machina minifigure and make my way through to my favorite. So first of all we have Scanlan Shorthalt. Here you can see I've used a Lord of the Rings torso. I replaced the arms which were in maroon and added the white arms. This fits better with what Scanlan typically wears in the first season of Legend of Vox Machina. He usually wears a purplish kind of top that's open at the chest and a long sleeve white shirt underneath. This is a fair representation of that. I've used those darker color hands and face to represent Scanlan's darker skin tones, and that brown mop of hair on top. Unfortunately, no sideburns, as you can see. For the loot, this is from the Dungeons & Dragons Elven Bard minifigure, so a really great addition, and as it happens, it matches the color of Scanlan's top. The next minifigure on my list is, of course, Percival de Rolo, or Percy. Percy is a human gunslinger, and interestingly, gunslinger is a class that Matt Mercer actually created himself when they were transitioning from Pathfinder to Dungeons & Dragons. As you can see here, I've used the body from Newt Scamander. This was a really good fit, and I didn't have it in my collection, so I actually bought the Newt minifigure specifically for this build. Also from the Lego Harry Potter universe is the head. I really like the glasses here. It has those round frames which are so characteristic of Percy. You can just see the lightning bolt shaped scar on the forehead there, but that hairpiece does cover it up pretty well. Now obviously the hairpiece or wig of this minifigure is not right. Percy has white hair, but unfortunately the style of hair shown in this wig is about the closest match I could find for Percy, and it does not come in a white, so it was either this or grey, and I thought this was lighter and more like white than the grey color. You can see that Percy is holding onto a bag in his right hand. This is the bag of holding that Vox Machina uses all throughout the first season of the show, and in his left hand is the firearm that he created, the weapon that was tied to a demon who was fighting for control of Percy's soul. On the back you can see some dark printing. It's kind of hard to see because it's black on navy blue, but overall I think this is a really good fit for the Percy minifigure. Third up we have Vex'ahlia. Vex'ahlia is of course the twin sister of Vax'ildan and is a half-elf ranger. She is carrying her signature weapon, the longbow, and as you can see I have used the body from Tasha the Witch, another of the Lego Dungeons & Dragons minifigures that recently came out. Despite being the wrong color, I think this body is a great fit for Vex'ahlia. There are belts and straps all across the body, and this hairpiece around the back is a great fit for Vex'ahlia. Just unfortunate I don't have a little blue feather to stick in the hairpiece. One nice little detail on the back there is that pouch which is attached to one of the belts that she's wearing. Our fourth Vox Machina minifigure is Keyleth. Keyleth is a half-elf druid, and Keyleth's colors here really suit her character. But unfortunately I didn't have anything that would work as a dress over the top of thigh-high boots, which is what Keyleth typically wears in season 1. Face and hair though, this is a great fit. The red hair and the pointed ears. I wasn't able to get a lot of detail on Keyleth's stuff, but as you can see there I've tried to put the green stone which is wrapped in the top part of her wooden staff. Here's another angle of the hair, and while not a perfect match for Keyleth, I think it's pretty darn good. Our fourth minifigure is, of course, the mighty Grog. Grog is a Goliath barbarian, and while he's not known for his smarts, he is a loyal companion and a great warrior. You can see here that I've managed to get the light bluish grey head and body for Grog. It was a bit difficult. The head is from the recent Strahd minifigure from the Lego Dungeons & Dragons series, while the torso is from a grey-skinned alien from the collectible minifigures series. I believe it was series 13. The musculature is definitely not right for Grog, and there are no signs of tattoos. But as far as colour goes, it's a pretty good match. I like the legs that are used here, which are from a Viking minifigure that recently came out. You can see there are some fur wraps around the upper legs, and there are some boot detailings down on the feet of the minifigure, which is a really cool touch. The axe head is of course from the Lego D&D Dwarven Barbarian, and it's a really cool piece. I've added to a longer bar here to give the effect of that great axe that Grog uses in Season 1. The next two minifigures are my two favourites, and we're going to start off with Pike Trickfoot. Pike, or Pikey as Grog calls her, is a gnome cleric. I've used the torso from the Dragonborn Paladin for Pike's upper body, and it's a great piece. You can see the white tabard on the front there with the medallion. It's obviously not the same as the medallion that Pike wears in the show, but a pretty good representation. Turning the minifigure, we can see some detailing on the arms here, some gilt armoring perhaps. The back print is really nice too. We've got a little potion under the belt there, which could be a healing potion perhaps. And we get a really good look at the hairpiece I've used for Pike. The hairpiece isn't perfect, as Pike actually usually wears her hair in a short ponytail, but I think the bangs at the front do look rather good and are pretty similar to how Pike looks from the front. You can see that for Pike's mace, I have a really nice mace head there, which is also from the Dragonborn Paladin minifigure. I've switched out the bar that makes up the haft of the mace though, as the translucent yellow bar that you see there gives the effect of that yellow glowing magical mace that she wields throughout the first season. I've matched that up with a trans clear piece to represent her shield, which I think in Dungeons & Dragons lore represents the Shield of Faith spell. I do like this piece as it is transparent, much as the shield that she uses in the show is, but I have an alternate, and let me know which one you think looks better. Here she is with the yellow shield. Now, I prefer the other one, as you can really see the details through the translucent shield, whereas this blocks a lot of her torso. But the color is a reasonable representation. It would have been really nice if I could have got a trans yellow piece to replace these two. That would have been perfect. And finally we have Vax'ildan. The twin brother of Vex'ahlia is also a half-elf, but he is a rogue. I've outfitted him in dark colors, which is very roguelike and fits with his character. You can see that he wields a pair of daggers, which is also very fitting based on the show. And you can see that hairpiece is a good match with the elongated and pointed elven ears. Around the back you see those same details we saw on Keyleth's hairpiece, just in that dark brown, which is a perfect match for Vax'ildan. Also, you get to see his cape hair a little better. Okay, I know he isn't connected to the Queen of Ravens until the second season, but I just thought this was such a great look for him that I wanted to include it. You can see it's got those kind of tattered ends that almost look like raven's wings. And the cape isn't actually attached around his neck as it would be typically with a Lego minifigure. I've just tucked it up underneath that hairpiece, which means that I've been able to fold it over, and so it has a bit more impact. From the front again, you can see that great silhouette that's formed by the cape behind him. The daggers are from the recent Githyanki minifigure that came out in the Lego D&D series, and the hairpiece is from Lord of the Rings. And this is my favorite minifigure. I just love how this has turned out. And finally, an honorable mention. It wouldn't be Vox Machina if we didn't have Trinket, right? Here we have a brown bear representing Trinket. I haven't been able to add any armor onto it, anything like that. Nothing really fits, but I really wanted to put Trinket in there as they're such a cool part of the show. I'm really happy with how these minifigures turned out, and I'm looking forward to using some of them in my role-playing games soon. Probably not as the characters from Legends of Vox Machina, but they look really cool and I'd love to use them in my games. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon.